about wisdom, ready come get some. If you wanna know more, people just listen.
Tonight we're talking about the laws of advancements. The laws of advancements. Listen, everybody wants to progress. Everybody wants to advance. Everybody wants to move forward, or at least they believe they do. Everybody has an idea or an ideology of, yeah, I want to be better. I want to advance. But there's some steps. There's some things that we cannot skip, we cannot overlook if we are going to advance. And when we see the word advancement, or when you're speaking of advancement, that's literally talking about improvement. It's talking about development. It's talking about moving from one area or one position and elevating, being at a greater rank, being at a greater height, a greater level. Okay, so it's forward movement. Is going from point A, and then you go into point B and moving on down the line, so on and so on. So there are laws, there are strict things that we cannot skip, we cannot get around, unless in this thing called progression. We can't get around it. We're not going to progress only because we wish to progress. We're not going to advance only because we really, really want to. Like, I really, really want to be better. I really, really want to advance. I really, really want to, become more financially stable or grow financially. I really, really want to be better in my relationships. I really, really, really want to have businesses. You can really, really want till the cows come home. But if you are not putting or implementing these laws, these steps, then you're not going to get there. So tonight we're talking about the laws of advancements. One of the first things that's important to realize, or important to be aware of, is that you have to be able to acknowledge that I need to move from point A, or from whatever point I'm at now, to the next step, the next phase. As long as we live, we'll have the opportunity to get better or to progress. None of us are going to arrive. It's always, life and living always includes a learning process. It's always about learning, it's always about becoming better. So we'll never arrive. I don't care how young we are, or how advanced we might be in our age, in our 60s or 70s, doesn't mean we have arrived. Yes, there may be some things that we are really solid in and really great at, but there will always be something that I can progress in, I can move forward in. And so, to advance, or to even honor that system of advancement, you got to acknowledge that, okay, I need to get from point A, or from this point, to the next point. Otherwise, you're going to be okay with being right where you are. And 2 years will go by, 6 months will go by, and you'll be in the same position. You'll be in the same spot. You'll be looking the same way, thinking the same way, talking the same way, doing all the same things, because you were not able to acknowledge or see that, wait a minute, I still need to progress. Advancement still applies to me. Even though I may have accomplished some things, even though I may be accomplished in certain areas, advancement still applies to me. All right. So that's a very important thing to understand, and to acknowledge. Hey, I need to be moving. And then after that, you have to now deal with your mindset, the way you think, the way you perceive, the way you understand, because you're literally moving from where you are now to where you want to be, or to where you should be. So you're going to have to change your mindset. The next stop, the next position, the next level requires a greater mindset. It requires a different way of perceiving or understanding or looking at things. It requires different behaviors, even. And so that all begins with your mindset, changing your mind and understanding that the mindset I have for now, it has to become greater because it's not going to accommodate or work for the next level. And I don't care what area of life that may be. That could be in business, that could be in relationships, that could be in money, that could be in sports as a creative, all your creative abilities. The next level is going to require a different mindset or greater strengths in your mindset, broader perspective, greater understanding. It's going to require that. You cannot be stuck in the same mindset and advance. So that's something that we can't get around whatsoever. So if you are a person who is like, you know what, I like this way I think, I like the way I do this, I like how I understand this, or my views on life or this particular area, it's going to be very, very difficult to advance, if at all. Because being stuck is literally a opposition to advancement, to progression. To say I like this, I'm not changing from this. And we rob ourselves of the opportunity to improve, to develop. All these words are in the definition of advancement. So we can't skip the laws of improvement, of development. And your mindset is definitely something that has to change. And it begins with your mindset, because what you do physically or practically, that's all created or promoted, provoked by your mindset. What you do and what you don't do, it all comes with a mindset. And so if you want to become a millionaire, or you want to move from, one level of financial acquiring or wealth, or what's the word I'm looking for? Having finances. You want to get to greater finances. You're going, you have to think different. Look at money different. Let's talk about finances for a little bit. If you're going to grow in your finances, acquire more wealth, then you're going to have to look at money differently. How you looked at money before, how you even handled money before, is going to have to change. And so money is a tool. Money, there should be purpose in your money or with your money. And this is how you help to, one, stay aware of how you're using your money. So budgeting. That's one of the law of advancements financially. You got to budget. Where is your money going? Where is it not going? How are you using it? How are you not using it? Why are you using it for what you're using it for or to? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So it requires a different mindset. It can't be, oh, I got some extra money, so I can go out now. I can do this now. No. All right. So mindset got to change. And I just talked about money. It's the same thing in relationships. Mindset got to be different. You got to have a different understanding, come into greater understanding. One of the things that I believe is very, very important is that we must begin working on ourselves when we're talking about advancing, developing, improving. And yes, we want our money to improve. We want our relationship to improve. We want our businesses to grow. All of that. Absolutely. All of those things are attached to you. But it got to start with you first. You have to begin working on you, because you're going to find yourself to be very frustrated if you're only working on the external things, but you're not working on you. You're working on the marriage, you're working on the friendship, you're working on the parenting, you're working on the business, you're working on this, you're working on your gift, you're working on your abilities, you're working on this, you're working on that, and you're not at all working on you. And you are the common denominator in all of these things. In every single thing attached to you, you are the common denominator. And you have got to start with you, working on you. So when we speak of the laws of developing yourself, improving yourself, what does that look like? We've talked about it previously in Murphy's Law here, maybe lightly. I am a proponent for therapy or counseling. You got to work on you, how you think, how you behave, your emotions, your insecurities, your anxieties, your weaknesses. And you are not always, or we are not always able to determine that or see that. I need someone who has greater wisdom, greater insight, who can help me to see where I need to improve at. There may be some weaknesses that I can say, okay, yeah, I need to work on that area. But you're going to need someone, not just anyone. I'm not talking about your best friend that you talk to all the time and you all just talk to talk. But a mentor, a therapist to say, hey, you got to work on this right here. You got to work on you. You got to work on your communication skills. Do you know that communication is a very important part of your advancement in any area? You name the area, you have to be able to communicate effectively. So you have to work on yourself to work on your communication. All right. So we talked about communication, understanding. So counseling, therapy allows these things, allowing yourself to be mentored. That's going to help you, to advance. And as you improve, all the things around you will begin to improve. It will begin to develop. It will begin to elevate. And it's a really bad thing to spend all your time working on the external things. And they may get better. The external things may get better, but if you don't work on you, there's always going to be a weak spot or a disconnect between you and whatever it is, the business, the relationship, the money, you name it. So work on you. That's a law of advancement, developing yourself. So becoming a stable individual, becoming a reliable individual, learning how to be humble. Humility is a very important thing. Why is humility so important? Because if you think you know it all, if you think you have it all, if you think you are the end all be all, everything comes to you, if you think you're all that, you're going to miss the opportunity to grow. You're going to miss the opportunity to handle money better, to use your money better, to invest your money better, to develop greater relationships, to love your spouse better, to be a better son, daughter, friend, mother, auntie, uncle. You're going to miss all that opportunity because you are set on, well, I got it together. So I don't care the area. Again, pride is going to cause you to lose, is going to cause you to fail ultimately. And so confidence is important. And I'll talk about that a little bit. It's important to be confident, but you definitely need to be humble, or yes, you need to be humble. There needs to be humility there. So if that's not in you as a person, and people always telling you about your arrogance or anything like that, your pride, then you need to work on that consistently and effectively, because that's going to hinder your ability to advance, to improve. We're talking about the laws of advancement, the laws of improving, of development. An athlete who's playing basketball, he can think he's the most athletic thing since whoever. He can run fast, he can jump high, but if he's not developing the skills or humble enough to develop the skills how to dribble a ball, how to shoot a basketball, how to pass, how to understand the game, if an athlete, he or she is so caught up in the fact that they're athletic, then they're going to hinder their own progress. And for any, for sports fan, those of you that are listening or watching that may be a sports fan, I know you can think of one player right now that was like, yep, that was his problem. Because he could run fast and jump high, he didn't work on anything else. And so he stayed at the same level. All right. So humility, you got to work on you. You got to work on your mindset, change your mindset. All right. And it's important to have belief in God, faith in God. And along with that belief and faith in God, you must have faith in yourself. You must have some belief in yourself. You got to believe in you. Let me ask you, if you don't believe in you, who else is going to believe in you? Or how are you going to expect people to believe in you if you don't believe in you? And growing and advancing doesn't always feel comfortable. You're entering into new ways of doing things, new ways of thinking, even new associations, new partnerships. It's not going to always feel comfortable, but believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in you, who's going to believe in you? And you're not, nobody's in obligated to believe in you. None of us has any special right to say, well, that person got to believe in me. You believe in you first. So believe in God foundationally. And that belief in God should strengthen your belief in you, in your ability to overcome difficulties. Now, advancements or advancing, progression, growth, development, it's not something that's totally easy. And I'm not saying this to scare you or to make you feel afraid or intimidated about developing. This is the truth. It's not always going to be easy. Life itself isn't going to always be easy. That don't mean you shouldn't advance. That doesn't mean you shouldn't progress. That don't mean you should now give up. It's going to be difficult at times. Let me tell you, it's going to be difficult. And while I'm talking about difficulty, here's a law that you can take to the bank. You got to have some perseverance. All this thin skin and super or extra sensitive, that's not going to work in developing. You have to have the ability to persevere, to be persistent. And I'm finding that in this day and age, man, it's too many people they so sensitive. They just thin skin and a little thing, and now they want to quit. Now they're moping. Now they don't want to talk to anybody. Now they want to give up. Now they want to have some perseverance. Have some persistence. That's a law of advancement. Because everything is not going to be easy. Everything won't work the first time around. Everything won't even work the way you think it should work. It won't even go the way you think it should go. Building new habits, creating better habits it's a process. So, come on. Let's stop being so sensitive all the time. Sensitive. All right. I was I'm gonna read this statement. It's long, but I want to read it. I was there in my career. I'm an IT guy per my degree, but I wanted to teach, and I wanted to teach something totally opposite of my degree. I had a couple years frustration, but God opened that door for me to teach. Now I teach college level. Absolutely. Thank you, Derek Miles, for tuning in, for watching the Murphy's Law podcast. Derek Miles just talked about having some persistence, perseverance. Yeah, you're going to have some frustration. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Name a successful person you know that has been able to tell their story without them saying or having a part of it deal with frustration. It comes with the territory. Persevere, persist past that. And when you have mentors that are making you aware of your weaknesses, persist on, persevere, accept the development, accept the correction, and put it in play, put it in practice, put it into rotation in your life so that you can advance. I'm telling you, nothing, no type of advancement comes through chance. It doesn't magically happen. It doesn't happen because you wish it into existence. No, it does not work like that. So I want to I wanted to talk about that persistence and that perseverance, because today, in this day and age, man, people are so ready, they're so quick to give up and so sensitive, and they're easily offended, and you can't, well, I'll tell them the truth, but they want to manipulate you into not telling the truth by acting crazy because they don't like what they hear. Then how you expect to advance? How you expect to grow, get better? All right. Okay. So I want to talk about some practical things for a few minutes. I've mentioned some already, counseling, therapy, having mentors, working on yourself. This the in being You have to be strategic, rather. You have to be strategic in advancing. You got to be strategic. It's a very intentional thing. So you have to have a goal, see a point. This is the next point I need to get to, and be intentional and implement strategies. So a law of advancement is strategy, being strategic. All right. So money wise, let's talk about finances. I'll talk about relationships a little bit, and maybe something else. If I see any questions, if you have any questions, those that are watching live, I'll answer that, or you may have something that come to mind, and I'll speak to that. I mentioned financially, you want to advance, budget. Name the person who has accumulated or ascended to great levels of finance and don't know and didn't budget. And budgeting, another word or phrase we can talk about when we speak of budgeting, is being intentional, being strategic. That's what budgeting is. I'm going to spend my money here. I'm going to spend my money on this, or I'm going to spend my money on that, or I won't spend my money on this because there's a point, there's a place I'm trying to get to. And so if you're careless with money, you're not going to get a lot of it. Because if you're careless with a little bit of money, it's impossible for you to get to the place where you have a lot of it. And even if something by some chance happens, right? Let's say you come into some inheritance, or somebody give you a large sum of money, you still gonna waste that money because you haven't built up the foundation of a law of advancement in finances is budgeting. Another one is investing. Got to make your money work. And many people, they they take busyness, right, for always meaning achievement. Because I'm doing something, that means I'm achieving something. It's not always true. And so investment is a tool where you can literally make your money work for you in certain areas. So if you don't know anything about investing, get a mentor. Uh, Dave Ramsey is someone that I was introduced to by my mentor, my leader, Dr. T.D. McNutt, who's been a guest on this show many times. Dave Ramsey's one. Uh, Read books, read research, get information, get knowledge. Okay, and then you want to work on having multiple streams of income. So that's a law of advancement financially. Can't just be where you work in someone else's on someone else's job, building their dream, building their vision, and they have 75 streams of income and you only got one. That's dependent on them. All right. So those are all that I'll touch for right now. We got relationships. You want to the laws of advance. There's laws of advancement as it pertains to relationships. I don't care the type. It's not only secluded or limited to one type of relationship. Not just your spouse and you. Not just in romantic relationships, in friendships, in your relationships with your children, with your parents. There's laws of advancement to that too. You want to develop a relationship, you want to improve a relationship, there are things that are absolutely necessary to be present in them. Trust, establishing trust. We talked about communication before. You want to be stable, provide stability. You want to improve a relationship, you name the relationship. Be stable. These are laws of advancement. And this is a very key thing. And I'm going to say it, but this is a very, very key thing. And a lot of people are this selfish. You want to improve relationships? Be unselfish. And a lot of times we can be in a relationship and we're only concerned about how it benefits us. Can I talk about relationships for 30 seconds? Think about all the relationships you're in, all the different types of relationships you're in. How do you carry yourself in that relationship? Does it benefit you and only you? As a father, I'm a father, I have children. I was married before, many of you know, got divorced. And if I go from having my spouse in my bed every night, I have someone to hug me and hold me and all of that, and I go now to be in divorce and I don't have that, it'll be a bad thing if I have my sons, I have twin boys, and every night they're sleeping with me, and every night they're in the bed with me, and I want them in the bed with me. I want them to sleep with me because I miss my spouse, my ex-spouse, or I just miss that feeling, having someone to hold. That's me. That's me being selfish. What about their development? What about their building their security, their sense of responsibility in sleeping in their own room, in their own bed, making up their, keeping and maintaining their room, their bed, all of that? I'm being selfish because all I'm thinking about is me. And I'm using the guys or the cover of, oh, they're my sons and I love them. I love them so much, which I do. So are you selfish? Think about all the things you do in any given relationship. Are you selfish? Are you doing what you're doing for you because it caters to you, because it benefits you? Laws of advancement. So there's no way to improve any relationship and you're selfish. There's no way to improve any relationship and it's absent of trust. There's no way to improve any relationship and you're unstable. You don't know how to provide any type of security. I don't know what I'm going to get today. I don't know what I'm going to get tomorrow. It's the flip of a coin. Okay? So the laws of advancement. Thank you for those of you that are listening. You're listening to the Murphy's Law podcast. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, tonight. Nana Murphs, thank you for being here. Derek Miles, thank you for commenting and being here. Lydia, thank you for your comments and being here. General Kathy Curry, thank you. Absolutely, thank you. I appreciate you all supporting and being here every Wednesday. So, guys, last week I spoke about faith. You know, we had this faith checkup, and I encouraged you in your faith. And this week is about we strengthen our faith, we are rejuvenated. Now we got to advance. Now we got to improve. Now we got to be better in different areas. I'm talking about being a millionaire. I have to think as one. Well, how do I think as a millionaire if I'm not a millionaire? I need to get around some millionaires. I need to understand the mentality of a millionaire. People who have healthy relationships, a healthy father, healthy husband, spouse, all of that. How do I get to that level? How do I get to that place? You have to put yourself in those environments. Laws of advancement. And again, from the youngest of us to the most advanced in age, we always have an opportunity to improve in one area or another, or even all of them. We always have an opportunity to improve. The laws of advancement. If you're listening and this is sparking some thought, it's provoking you to think and to say, well, you know what? Have I really been applying myself, putting myself to advancing? Have I been trying to skip steps? Because you can't skip the steps. I don't care who you are. There is a process. There's laws to advancing. There are things that you must do, hands down, period. I don't care. I don't care what you say. These are things you must do to advance. So I don't know about you. I don't want to be stuck doing the same thing, thinking the same ways, or even celebrating old accomplishments. It's great that I've reached a certain levels, I've attained certain heights, and that's wonderful. I don't want to be stuck in that. That happened in 2019. We're in 2021 now. There's always greater accomplishments, greater steps for us to take. Always. So let's advance. Let's take the wisdom. Let's apply it. Let's not try to skip steps. Let's not try to be manipulative or sneaky, or try to get to where someone else is but not want to go through the process. What makes you different from them or anybody else? What makes you think you're so special? They felt like quitting too, they didn't. And so you may have to cry sometimes. Did you all know that development is emotional? Stages of development. There are different stages of development that bring on certain emotions and different type of emotions. It's a part of it. So don't feel crazy because you may want to cry or whatever. You may feel frustration. That's a part of it. The key thing is don't quit. Don't stop. You're not going to get to where you're attaining or striving to get to. The laws of advancement. So I hope you've been encouraged. I hope you are able to take what has been given tonight. I take it, everything I say, every wisdom I give to apply. I do my best every single day to apply it and function by it. And guess what, guys? I don't always get it right. But you know what I don't do? I don't quit. I keep working at it. I keep persevering. Okay, I'm going to get it right the next time. And sometimes certain mindsets that I may have had, or, I'll give you an example. I used to be, I used to take forever to do an assignment or anything. I would just do it slow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. And that's something that I've had to literally work at overcoming, work at breaking down, because it doesn't accommodate, it doesn't fit who I'm working or striving to be. And I'm still working at it. I'm getting better, and there's still room for me to grow. So this goes for everybody. This is not just for me to tell you and just rattle off some things to say. Absolutely not. I'm applying it too. And guess what? My life is I'm advancing. And I advance quicker in some areas, other in a particular area more than others sometimes, and that comes along with the territory too. Whatever you do, keep advancing, right? But you cannot skip the laws of advancement. I appreciate every one of you for tuning into the Murphy's Law podcast tonight. I do encourage you to support this podcast, to give. You can give at Cash App, # Murphy's Law podcast. If you've never done it before, do it. If you've done it before, do it again. Thank you. I appreciate those who watch, those who subscribe, because that's support too. I appreciate those that come on live and write their comments. I promise you, I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. It feels good to be supported in that way. I am also asking everyone, to support this podcast so that it can do greater things. There are some great ideas that I have, and great projects that I have that I want to do, and it requires money. Everything requires money. So your support is definitely appreciated. You sowing seed is appreciated. We've talked about that before on Murphy's Law. So please do that. I encourage you to do that. I appreciate it if you do. Follow us on Facebook at Murphy's Law. Like the page. Go over to YouTube. We're on YouTube also at the Murphy's Law Podcast. That's the name of the channel, the Murphy's Law Podcast. We're also on Instagram. So there's many ways you can follow us and follow me and see what's going on. And I would greatly appreciate it if you do. All right, go to Spotify, anchor.fm. You can subscribe to the podcast and all of that. Okay. And you can go back and watch the episodes. This is episode 15. I can't even believe it. 15 weeks of us talking, discussing, growing, and applying wisdom. Every single one of you deserves a round of applause for that. You deserve a hand clap. And that shows some type of consistency and stability. I think so. Right? Well, before I leave you tonight, here's what I want to say in my closing thoughts. Love everybody. Love somebody. Definitely. But love everybody. Be kind. Pray for others. Do something that will make living here on earth better for someone else, not just for you. Don't only live for you. And whatever you do, Let's apply wisdom. We can't skip the laws of advancement. These are things that we have to do, we have to endure if we're going to advance, if we're going to improve. Keep coming back to the Murphy's Law podcast. I encourage you to do so. It was so great tonight to talk to you and to have this discussion. I know I'm helped. I know I'm greatly impacted by all of these things that I apply in my own life. So I definitely believe it'll be a great help, great assistance to you also. Every single person watching, thank you. I love you all. Every person listening, thank you. I love you all. Even if we've never met, I love you all. All right. Until we meet again, you know what time we meet. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Absolutely. Don't forget, man, to let's apply wisdom. And there's no skipping the laws of an advancement. All right. Share this with somebody. Tell them about it. Subscribe to the podcast. I love you all. I hope to see you all again soon. You can give again at # Murphy's Law Podcast. That's on Cash App. Murphy's Law Podcast. I encourage you to go do that. I'm feeling good. I hope you're feeling good too. And I want you to have an amazing night. I'll see you soon.